Hey, if you're a DV 2024 winner, hey, get ready. Pay attention to this video because your program year is getting started. Okay, of course, the fiscal year will begin on October 1st, but things are already heating up. And if you're not aware, the first visa bulletin for DV 2024 has been published. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about the visa bulletin and this specific visa bulletin and how it applies to you throughout your journey. Hi, my name is Ekia or Ekia Ofoy. If this is your first time here, please take a moment and click on the subscribe button. But if you're somebody who comes here frequently and you never subscribed, please make sure you subscribe before you leave here. Thank you so much. Share this video with your friends and families so that they can be informed about this process. When we talk about the visa bulletin is basically like a notice that is published by the State Department on their website every month around the 11th through the 15th. Sometimes it comes early, sometimes it comes later than the 15th. But as you guys can see, this one came early. It is always published ahead of the month for what the month that it applies to. Now, the visa bulletin establishes the cutoff point range for the cases that have been assigned visas or that visa has been allocated to. Okay, so the visa bulletin has this cutoff point, and when I say cutoff point, it is the case number ranges that have been allocated visa. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're getting the visa, but it means that if visa has been made available to your case and you're able to get an interview within that time frame and you go for the interview, then they can definitively give you the visa or they can refuse you the visa. Okay, a visa has to be allocated to your case number before you can get a visa. If a visa has not been allocated to your case number, when you go for the interview, and even if you pass, they cannot give you a visa because visa has not been allocated to your case. Okay, so one way to read the visa bulletin is when you go to the State Department website and you look at the visa bulletin. We have the regions, we have the chargeabilities, the cutoff points, and then we have the special circumstances where some countries are treated as special cases. Okay, now when you look at the current visa bulletin, we have Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, South America, and the Caribbean. And those are 6 regions. Okay, now when you look on the column, you will see a number like there's a 10,000, there is a 2,000, there is 4,500, there is 2, there's 375, and all of that. Those are case numbers, cutoff points. So when you are looking at the visa bulletin, and let's say you are from Africa, then you look at the cutoff point. That means that if your case number for the DV lottery as a winner, if it falls below that cutoff point, that means that visa has been allocated to your case. Now, let's say that you are one of those, you come from one of those countries that are special circumstances, then you will look on the right side of the table. On the right side, we have countries like Algeria, we have Egypt, we have Morocco. Okay, these 3 countries in Africa. If your chargeability is in any of these 3 countries, then you are not going to look at the cutoff point for Africa. You will look at the cutoff point for your country, your chargeability. And if you're wondering where your chargeability is located, look on your winning letter. The letter that told you that congratulations, you have been selected as a DV winner, whatever, right? Look down there a little bit, you will see your case number and you will see your chargeability. So if your chargeability says Algeria, then every time you go to the visa bulletin, you will have to look in the right panel where your country Algeria is and you focus on that cutoff point. It has nothing to do with where you are physically located. It is all about your chargeability. Okay, so if you're from Algeria, you will not look at the cutoff point for all of Africa. You will look at your country. If you're from Egypt, you will look at the cutoff point for Egypt. You will not look at Africa. If you're from Morocco, you will look at the cutoff point for Morocco and not all of Africa. Okay, and when I say you are from, I'm talking about your chargeability. Okay, but if you are from anywhere in the African continent and you don't see your country treated as different, then you will look at Africa. Okay, so this exception when it comes to the cutoff point in the African region or on the African continent, only people who have chargeability in Algeria, chargeability in Egypt, chargeability in Morocco are treated separately. But anybody else, if you're a Ghanaian, you have to look at the cutoff point for Africa. If you're a Cameroonian, cutoff point for Africa. You are Kenyan, cutoff point for Africa. Liberian, Sierra Leonean, yes. Please pay attention to this, okay? Because this is how it's going to go. That's why I want to really explain this part so that you understand. So that the next visa bulletin, when they post it, you are not still asking, sister, why is that Ghana is not there? Why is that Liberia is not there? This is why I'm taking my time to explain this part, all right? Now, if you're from the Asian continent, your chargeability is in Asia, right? Now, you will see that Asia, they have their cutoff point, all right, is 2,000. And then there is a cutoff point for two countries that are treated as separate. They are Iran and Nepal. Iran and Nepal. So, once again, if you look on your winning letter and your chargeability says Iran, don't look at the cutoff point of Asia. You have to look at the cutoff point of your country. It doesn't matter where you are located. That is what is going to affect you. Okay? That is what is going to affect you. If you're from Nepal, you should always look at the cutoff point for Nepal. If your chargeability is Nepal, you should always look at the cutoff point for Nepal, not Asia. Don't use Asia to judge yourself. Use the cutoff point. Oftentimes, the regional cutoff point is bigger than the individual countries. This is something that I have seen over the years, okay? Oftentimes, the individual countries. So, I mean, if you look at the cutoff point for Africa, which is 10,000, but then the cutoff point of Egypt is lower. The cutoff point of Morocco is lower. The cutoff point of Algeria is lower. And then when you look at Asia, the cutoff point for Asia is 2,000. But then when you look at the cutoff point of Iran, it's lower. The cutoff point of Nepal is lower. That is how it looks like. That is the pattern. Okay? Now let's go to Europe. So when you look at Europe, the cutoff point is 4,500. Now, once again, if you have chargeability in Europe, you will look at that cutoff point for the entire Europe region. But if you are from Russia or Uzbekistan, you have to look at your specific country's cutoff point. So you have to look at your cutoff point as a Russian. You have to look at your cutoff point as an Uzbekistani. But the rest of the people, if you're from Georgia, if you're from Armenia, if you're from Germany, Switzerland, if you're from Greece, if you're Cyprus, if you're from any of the European countries, or your chargeability, it falls within the European region, then just look at the Europe cutoff point, unless your country is any of the ones that are treated as separate. Now, if you're from North American region, which we know is only one country, which is the Bahamas, then you're not going to look at yourself uniquely, even though the whole region of North America is represented by one country. Okay? But remember, there is no special circumstances here. It's just that the region is represented by one country. All right? In the future, they could, allow other countries within the North American region to, be part of the DV lottery. And then you go to Oceania. Oceania, there is no special circumstance for any country in the Oceania region. So you look at the cutoff point for all of Oceania. And then the same for South America and the Caribbean. You have to look at the cutoff point. There's no special situation for any unique country within that region. All right. The only regions that have, special cases for some countries will be Africa, Asia, and Europe. The rest of the regions, there are no special circumstances over there. All right. So I hope you understand this part, reading and understanding the visa bulletin.